Here is a trigonometry question related to an angle of elevation. So here we want to draw a diagram to help us out with the situation. So they say that the angle of elevation to the top of a tree sighted from ground level is 15 degrees. So my figure would have a right triangle in it, and this is my tree. And the angle of elevation is always the bottom angle of your right triangle looking up towards the top. So the 15 degrees is the bottom angle. Now the person is standing here, and then they move 90 feet closer. So when they move 90 feet closer, the angle of elevation changes, and it's wider looking up, and so now it's 38 degrees. Find the height of the tree. Okay, so what we have here is we have a distance of 90 feet when the observer moved from point A to point B here. So I know that that distance is 90 feet. This distance remaining, I can say, is x. So we're going to set up a couple of trig ratios here. First, I'm going to focus on this big right triangle, and coming from the perspective of the 15-degree angle, the side H would be opposite the angle, and then this entire side here is adjacent. And so when I look at my trig ratios, that's the TOA part of SOHCAHTOA. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. But the adjacent side is not just 90, it's the entire length 90 plus x. So my trig ratio would be tangent of the angle 15 degrees equals my opposite side h over the adjacent side x plus 90. And then what we do next is we take this denominator, we undo the division, we bring it over here, we multiply. So I have x plus 90 times tangent of 15 equals h. Now we're not going to get anywhere with solving yet because I have two variables in this equation, but what I want to do is solve this equation for x. So I want to try to get x alone. So I'm going to begin by dividing tangent of 15 away. So that's going to give me x plus 90 equals h divided by tangent of 15. And now we can subtract 90 after that expression. So x equals h divided by tangent of 15 minus 90. So that would actually be an expression that lets us solve for x later. But to get anywhere, I'm going to now look at the other right triangle that's created when the person moves closer to the tree. So now the angle of elevation is 38 degrees, and I still have opposite and adjacent. So for that one, I have tangent of 38 degrees equals the opposite h over the adjacent, which in this one is just x. So we multiply by x, x times tangent of 38 degrees equals h. So here we have an equation where we know what h is in terms of x. Let's go ahead and solve this equation for x as well. So x would be h, and we're going to move tangent 30 and divide it over. H divided by tangent of 30 degrees. Okay? So we actually have achieved something because I have two equations equal to x. And when you have two equations equal to the same letter, you can set those equations equal to each other. And so I can say, well, this fraction, h over tangent of 30, will be equal to this expression, h over tangent 15 minus 90. So to solve this one, let's go ahead and get our fractions that have an h on the left side together. So I'm going to subtract this one over. H tangent 30 minus h over tangent 15 is equal to negative 90. What we can do, since the h's are on the same side together, is we can factor the letter out. So I take h to the side and put parentheses, and the h's are both on top of these fractions. So what you have when you factor that out is you have 1 over tangent 30 minus 1 over tangent 15. So the h's come out and you replace it with a 1 on top. Okay, so now to get h alone, I can divide by this entire thing. So now I have negative 90 divided by 1 over tangent 30 minus 1 over tangent 15. And that's going to be what the height, h, equals. So at this point you can actually start to type this in the calculator. So I would start with the denominator, and let's type in 1 divided by tangent 30. Make sure you close your parentheses if you're going to keep going. So 1 divided by tangent 30 minus, now we're on the next one, 1 divided by tangent of 15, and then press equals. Well, that's negative 2. So now I have negative 90 divided by negative 2. So go ahead and do that division to simplify that further, and you get positive 45. So the height of the tree will be 45 feet.